Okay, I got ahead of myself. So let's start at the beginning. The beginning of a 3-day road trip down the Oregon coast, featuring the Hasselblad 500cm, the return of Lightmeter, and CineStill's newest film stock, CineStill 400D. And for such a special trip, of course, we're only bringing the good stuff. All good? Let's go. Traveling from Portland, it's about a 3-hour drive to our first stop, Yaquina Head Lighthouse. While the lighthouse is the star of the show, I think the foreground elements of weeds and flowers really complete the shot. Next stop was Thor's Well, which is a hole in a sea cave caused by erosion from the ocean waves. While there are several viewing angles, there's only one way to get within a few feet of Thor's Well, which can be slightly difficult to get to if you don't want to get wet. Is it worth it? I guess so. To watch the waves ebb and flow from it can be meditative and calming, but I found the views from the cliffs above to be just as deserving of love. Before calling it a night, we checked out Hasita Head Lighthouse. Although the light was pure golden hour, I only had the 80mm lens on my Hasselblad, and unless I wanted to fall off the cliff, I wasn't able to get the entire lighthouse in frame at the angle that I wanted. But ironically, it would be the weeds growing on the side of the cliff that would make my favorite shot from this location. I just love the colors and the lighting here. It makes it feel so inviting and at peace. And although I didn't know it at the time, it was a sign of things to come. Having already shot through 2 rolls, we would start our morning with something new. You guessed it, another lighthouse. This time, Cape Blanco Lighthouse. After our lunch of champions, we continued down the coast, but stopped to meet some long-lost friends. After saying goodbye, we found our way to the secret beach. It's not the easiest of descents to get to, and perhaps not much of a secret anymore, but when you arrive, you understand why it'd be hard to keep this a secret. The camera I'm shooting with today is the Hasselblad 500cm. It came onto the scene in 1970 and provided all the modularization of the 500C with the addition of interchangeable focusing screens. It can shoot 12 6x6s, but with different backs can allow for 645 shots and even Polaroids. For those interested in getting into medium format photography, I would suggest looking into the Mamiya 645 or the Mamiya RB67. Both are great medium format cameras with great lens options that are definitely more affordable than the Hasselblad, which can range between $1,500 to over $2,000. But if you can get your hands on one, it's beautiful, and with a waist level viewfinder, it becomes almost addicting to use. Now let's talk about the real star you probably came for, CineStill 400D. It's a daylight balanced colored film, with the D meaning dynamic for its wide dynamic range. I love how it brings a light softness to the shots. The tones aren't as warm as other films like Kodak, but I just love how beautiful the blues come out. And if you love halations, it's still got you covered. It's easily become one of my favorite film stocks to shoot with, and I think you'll love it too. We finally arrived at the destination we planned the trip around, Natural Bridges, which, as the name implies, are these beautiful natural rock formations that extend and arc over the ocean. You can hike there and walk on top, but be warned, that's a difficult and pretty sketchy hike to reach. I did make an attempt, but ultimately turned around because I didn't feel safe. In photography, they say anything for the shot, but whether it's photography or anything else in life, I think it's important to acknowledge that you should never do or feel forced to do anything you don't feel safe doing. And although I know I made the right decision at the time, I couldn't help but feel like the trip was incomplete. This was supposed to be the grand ending to the trip, but it didn't turn out that way. But like the cliffs above Thor's Well, or the weeds next to the lighthouse, sometimes you'll come across things that are better than what you had planned. And on our way back from Natural Bridges, we came across one last gift.